Okay, so we're gonna do something interesting here. We're gonna take a look at Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura's games um, on chess.com from the start. So these are, I guess, like these are some of his, or I'm sorry, these are my games. My games are, of course, so fun to watch. But if I go instead to others' games and then I search up Hikaru, nothing comes up. Much better. Hikaru not playing against himself, just Hikaru in general. And I swapped the date so that instead of by default you see 2024, I click the date icon so that it's Hikaru Nakamura's games from the start. Um, these I think are going to be an interesting set of, let's say, 30 or so games to watch that that are just going to be interesting to have reviews of. So I wanted to start off by looking at some of these games. It's very funny that right off the get-go, the double exclams given to the first move, e4. These are all book moves, so I wonder how that happened. But um, the first mistake or the first move that the computer did not like was d4, knight to d5, excuse me, saying instead that the better move was to play d4. It's interesting that small moves like this, uh, the computer seems to have a problem over. There's many things that we can look at and we can critique, I would say, but the next key point, like including all of these moves, it's interesting to think that there's quite strong players on both sides. That being said, the move Rook A to D8 already has this move, this question mark into exclamation mark, meaning it's possible it's a slight inaccuracy and that other moves can be played instead. Mm, I don't want to spend too much time other than to look at this move, the one that's a purported mistake. Bishop to f6 is apparently better. In developing, instead of moving the bishop back, developing the bishop forward, and then maybe looking to attack maybe the rook or white's bishop along the dark squares on the king side. Potentially a better move. b3 is a slight inaccuracy is played. Um, what is instead maybe better would be queen to f2 and bishop to c5 being played. Although I don't see this being particularly, let's say, strong. B3, queen to h4, double negatives on that move. It's saying again the best move is just to play bishop to f6. So that instead of playing queen h4, bishop to f6 is just better. Okay. Bishop to f2 doesn't fully take advantage of this mistake. It says that there's an opportunity to win material here. Yes, by moving bishop to c5 because that attacks the rook. And if the rook does move, then white can take on f7. So instead, bishop to this and maybe something like bishop to f6 or rook to d7 and bishop takes, where you're up the exchange as white. That's a stronger move here. Okay, very interesting. Bishop to f2. Keep in mind these aren't, there's an unlimited time on both sides. Bishop to c5 in the next move after queen to g5 is played. I guess best might have been just to move all the way back to the starting square. This attacks the rook and forces some material to be lost. Bishop takes, rook takes, bishop takes, Xing out a lot of material and leaving white up the exchange. Apparently here it's slightly better to go for the queen exchange while you're up the material and to trade off material. Instead we've got rook to f1, takes, queen f3, queen here to g5 being a mistake, a slight inaccuracy. Instead it was better to move the queen back to h6 and to play rook to g1 and to just try to defend something along this diagonal, maybe bishop to g5 to prevent that attack into f4 check or something of this nature. So this loses, I think, on the spot. Rook g1 is played by Nakamura, attacking this, and then right afterwards attacking this. Maybe queen to f4 check is indeed played. Queen to f4 check, queen takes, e takes, but still this pawn is dropped and soon thereafter the game. So f3, rook takes e6, king moves out of the way, rook takes e7, and 1-0 Nakamura. All right, interesting game.